Morning. Happy Friday, Mrs. O'Brien reporting for class. I'm sorry about yesterday's video. I know I got the first part uploaded correctly, but for some reason, and I'm telling you, I worked on it for legit like hours. For some reason, I was not able to find success in uploading the second part of that video. So honestly, just forget it. If you worked on it, bravo to you for giving it a try. If you didn't, okay, my apologies. It was a pretty good story. There were 5 different characters in it, and so I wore a different hat to be, anyways. Another reason why I'm bringing it up is because today's story is I don't want to say it's a continuation of yesterday's, but it has the same character in it, and her name is Sadako. And so same character, but completely different stories, completely different scenarios. So you don't need to have heard yesterday's in order to understand today's. So deep breath, ready? You and me both. Today we are going to read Sadako's Secret. It was the beginning of autumn when Sadako rushed home with the good news. She kicked off her shoes and threw open the door with a bang. I'm home! Her mother was fixing supper or dinner in the kitchen. The most wonderful thing has happened, Sadako said breathlessly. Guess what? Many wonderful things happen to you, Sadako-chan. I can't even guess. The big race on field day, Sadako said. I've been chosen from the bamboo class to be on the relay team. And she danced around the room, gaily swinging her school bag, meaning she was very happily swinging her backpack around. Just think, if we win, I'll be sure to get on the team in junior high school next year. And that was what Sadako wanted more than anything else. At supper, Mrs. Sasaki made a long speech about family honor and pride. And even Masahiro was impressed. Sadako was too excited to eat. She just sat there, grinning happily. From then on, Sadako thought only of one thing, the relay race. She practiced every day at school and often ran all the way home. When Masahiro timed her with Mr. Sasaki's big watch, Sadako's speed surprised everyone. Maybe, she dreamed, I will be the best runner in the whole school. Hey, look at that. There's an error in the writing. I love it when I don't know why that is, but for some reason when published writing pieces, when there's a typo, I like to catch it. The word that they wrote down was while. It should have been whole. The I and the O. It should have been WHOLE. Moving along. At last, the big day arrived. A crow of parents, relatives, and friends gathered at the school to watch the sporting events. Okay, sorry, complete side note. You know how my brain works. So we have different names for different groups of animals. And let's see here. A group of geese is called a gaggle. A group of cats is called a clouder. A group of rabbits is called a fluffle. A group of hippos is called a pod. A group of male deer with the antlers, they're called a bachelor party. I could keep going, but I should probably try and stay focused. The reason why I'm saying that is because I think it's pretty funny that the author wrote a crow of parents, relatives, and friends, meaning that is supposed to be, a crow is what we're supposed to use to describe a group of parents, a group of relatives, and a group of friends. That's kind of funny. Moving along. Sadako was so nervous she was afraid her legs wouldn't work at all. And members of the other team suddenly looked taller and stronger than her teammates. Uh-oh, she's getting a little intimidated here. She's there. The big day has arrived. And she's looking at all the people that she's going to be competing with, and she's like, So when Sadako told her mother how she felt, Mrs. Sasaki said, Sadako-chan, it is natural to be a little bit afraid. But don't worry. When you get out there, you will run as fast as you can. Then it was time for the relay race. Just do your best, Mr. Sasaki said, giving Sadako's hand a squeeze. We'll be proud of you. The kind words from her parents made the knot in Sadako's stomach loosen. Like, it made her feel, okay, all right, I'm chill, I'm cool now. They love me no matter what, she thought. That's good. At the signal to start, Sadako forgot everything but the race. And when it was her turn, she ran with all the strength she had. Sadako's heart was still thumping painfully against her ribs when the race was over. It was then that she first felt strange and dizzy. Wait a minute, that's not good. She scarcely heard someone cry out. She was so focused on the fact that she didn't feel right that she only barely heard someone yell out, "Hey, your team won!" The bamboo class surrounded Sadako, cheering and shouting, and they shook her head, and she shook her head a few times, and the dizziness went away. Like, she's like, all right, come on, shake it off. All winter, Sadako tried to improve her running speed. To qualify for the racing team in junior high, she would have to practice every day. Sometimes, after a long run, the dizziness returned. What? It says Sadako decided not to tell her family about it. Why would you make that decision? That is definitely the kind of thing that you should tell your family about. She tried to convince herself that it meant nothing, that the dizziness that would go away. Really? But it didn't, yeah. It got worse. And so frightened, Sadako carried the secret inside of her. That's the opposite of what she was supposed to do. She didn't even tell Chizuko, her best friend. That's what we have friends for. So we have people take care of us. What's the matter with her? On New Year's Eve, Sadako hoped that she could magically wish away the dizzy spell. How perfect everything would be if she didn't have this secret. All she has to do is... At midnight, she was in her cozy bed quilts when the temple bells began to chime. They were ringing out all the evils of the old year so that the new one would have a fine beginning. And with each ring, Sadako drowsily, meaning like very sleepily, made her special wish. And the next morning, the Sasaki family joined crowds of people as they visited their shrines. And Mrs. Sasaki looked beautiful in her best flowered silk kimono, like a robe. As soon as we can afford it, I'll buy a kimono for you, she promised Sadako. A girl your age should have one. Sadako thanked her mother politely, but she didn't care about a kimono. She only cared about racing with the team in junior high. And amidst throngs of happy people, like lots and lots and lots of happy people, Sadako forgot her secret for a while. Her secret. She forgot her secret. She forgot that she's having dizzy spells that she should be seeing a doctor for, but that's okay. At the end of the day, she raced Masahiro home and won easily. Above the door were the good luck symbols Mrs. Sasaki had put there to protect them during the new year. Hey, with a beginning like this, how could anything bad happen? That is like the perfect setup for something bad to happen.